Are you ready? Well, we're meeting again today so that I can let you know that I've reviewed your test results and you do have breast cancer. I know this is difficult, but we'll get through this together. I'm so sorry.
What if that mother had been able to talk to her family about their health histories? What if that mother was able to talk to her doctor about her health issues? What if someone had told that mother that she could be screened for her breast cancer risk? There are genetic variants, two in particular, BRCA1 and BRCA2, that indicate a very high risk of breast cancer or ovarian cancer. Compared to the general U.S. population, there are other populations that have a much higher risk of breast cancer. Those include Ashkenazi Jews, Norwegian, Dutch, and Icelandic peoples. Both men and women can have breast cancer. However, women have a much higher risk of breast cancer. There are a number of ways to learn more about breast cancer and reduce the impact. You can discuss with family histories and learn more about breast cancer itself. Did you know that there are doctors' offices, hospitals, and clinics with technologies that can screen for BRCA1 and BRCA2? They do this by genetic testing.
Oh, good. Before we move forward, I just want to review a little bit about genetic testing. As you see here, there are a number of genes involved in the body's systems. However, there's one in particular known as BRCA1 and BRCA2. These genes specifically are responsible for the production of breast cells. In some populations, there are variants in those genes that can cause cancer. That variant has shown up in this test, and we've seen that you do have that. It might have come from either one of your parents.
Now you can see that technology has progressed a great deal, and we are able to detect these genetic variants and those issues that indicate a risk of cancer. And you can take action to reduce the incidence of cancer. If you would like to learn more about genetic testing for BRCA1 and BRCA2, there is information available at the UCLA Gallaudet Genetic Testing Center. The website is online, seen on your screen below. Or you can meet with a genetic counselor.
Early discussions about family health history and possible genetic testing might help the next generation.
There are several signs and symptoms of breast cancer, and one of the ones that folks know the most about, of course, is the lump, but there are others, like any unusual rash on your breast that may be dimply. It could be flaky, the skin could be flaky. Any discharge in the breast, blood or fluid other than breast milk. The inversion of nipples, any unusual swelling in any area of the breast. So I really want to encourage young women to know what your breasts normally look and feel like, so that when there is a change that's unusual, you can follow up with your doctor as soon as possible. So there are a few things that we can do to reduce our risk for getting early breast cancer. And some of those are things that can be done that usually reduce the risk for other kinds of diseases later, like, maintaining a healthy diet, maintaining a healthy weight, reducing your alcohol consumption, getting enough sleep at night. Then there's some other things like breastfeeding our babies when we have an opportunity to do that. We know that, women who breastfeed their babies are less likely to be diagnosed with early breast cancer. I think the best thing to do when you start thinking about whether or not you're at high risk is start talking to your family. Have we had any male breast cancer in the family? Have any women been diagnosed with breast cancer before the age of 45? How many? Those kinds of things young women need to be aware of because they do increase her risk for getting early breast cancer. That part can be challenging because there's some families that don't talk about sickness. They certainly don't talk about cancer or, like my family, it's not a conversation that we generally like to have. The first step that I would suggest is, finding that family member. There's always one who's the one with information, the one who kind of likes to talk, and kind of start there.
The latest estimate is about 40% of cancers are due to lifestyle factors that we have control over. Alcohol increases the risk of developing breast cancer. The reason that happens is because when it's metabolized in the body or it's used in the body, it produces estrogen-like compounds. And exposure to estrogen is one of the things that can lead to breast cancer. One thing you can do to help lower your risk is drink less alcohol. That's 1 drink per day for women and 2 for men.
I don't think we really know the full answer to that question right now, and that's hard because it's personal to me. But what we do know is that younger women who are African American tend to be diagnosed with early breast cancer more often than their counterparts. And so for that reason, we'd like for young African American women to, 1, be aware of what your breasts normally look and feel like, and follow up with your doctor if you notice something not quite right. Then the second thing, go ahead and have those conversations with your family members to learn more about what your cancer history is and what your family's cancer history is.
Women may not be aware that breastfeeding can lower the risk of breast cancer. And the reason that it works, or the reason that it lowers the risk of breast cancer, is that when you're breastfeeding, your periods will stop or slow down during that time, which means there's less exposure of your breast to estrogen. And really it's the length of exposure during your lifetime to estrogen that leads to breast cancer risk. So women at average risk with start mammograms at 50 have the mammogram every 2 years until they're 75 years old. If you're at high risk, such as having a abnormal BRCA1 or abnormal BRCA2 gene in your family, you would work with your provider to determine what screening recommendation is right for you.
Did you know that female breast cancer death rates are decreasing in the United States? Breast cancer death rates vary considerably according to the type of breast cancer and racial and ethnic group. Nevertheless, the overall death rate from this disease has decreased among women of all racial and ethnic groups. This includes white women and black women, the two racial groups with the highest breast cancer death rates. From 1975 to the early 1990s, female breast cancer death rates increased among both black women and white women. Beginning around 1990, these death rates began to decrease among white women, followed by a decrease among black women around 1993. As of 2010, breast cancer death rates remained higher among black women than white women. The decrease in female breast cancer deaths in the United States is encouraging news. The recent identification of specific genetic changes in breast cancer tumors is also important because it may lead to the development of targeted breast cancer treatments. Talk with your doctor about breast cancer screening and steps you can take to reduce your risk of breast cancer. If you are diagnosed with breast cancer, your doctor can help you decide on a course of treatment that will give you the best chance for long-term survival. For more information about female breast cancer, please visit the NCI Breast Cancer webpage at www.cancer.gov/breast. For additional cancer statistics, visit the SEER program webpage at seer.cancer.gov.